How's everybody doing? I'm going to show you some stuff on Johnson Valley as far as terrain paints, because there's a little confusion when it comes to painting, and it's not your fault. It's just the way the PBR materials are set up. It can be confusing. So if we hide the terrain block, and I'll just hide all the forest stuff, and then what you're left with is this enormous piece of land. It's a big mesh. If we get far away from it, you'll see that basically Johnson Valley consists of a really large 3D mesh. Backdrop. Let me find it. There it is. So it consists of that very large mesh, and then there's two other meshes that are the roads that are 3D meshes. Now these two meshes here that are roads have two different textures applied. One is dirt, and where the asphalt is, there's actually a texture assigned to the 3D mesh that uses the ground model. You got dirt loose and you got asphalt. Those are the two textures that are applied to this, and so that's how the ground models work. So there's nothing you could do other than change the ground model in here as far as changing these, because these are 3D models. They are not using the terrain block at all. So over here you got another piece of road here. That's another 3D model. So if you get rid of the 3D models and you turn the terrain back on, you'll see the terrain blocks here. So the only painting you can do at all anyway is going to be in this area. Alright, now the way the terrain paints work, what you see when you're far away is the base texture. I can show you the base texture for Small Island, for example. So wherever you paint, as long as this is the base texture, that's what's going to be on the ground. It doesn't matter if you pick mud, grass, it's going to still look like that. And this is no different. They got their own terrain background that if you go to the terrain painter and you pick like rocky dirt, for example, to the terrain material library, rocky dirt, you can see it's got a terrain texture too. So does dirt loose, dirt grass, dirt rocky large, sand, dirt rocky, dirt loose, dusty grass, grass too. Now the only exception is in this particular map is asphalt. Now you see asphalt has its own base texture, so it doesn't matter how far away you paint asphalt, it's going to still look like asphalt. It's not going to use that other background, like say dirt loose, dusty, whatever that it uses. Now you see how you paint. See, it's just the way. This is intended to be paint that you see far away, and then as you get closer, it goes to the macro. You see how it changed? Let me get rid of the ground cover too. Give me a second. So you can see how as you get closer, it's got the macro map, which is another layer of detail, and you get farther away, it kind of morphs into this other image. And if you get up even closer, then it brings up another layer of detail, which is the detail map. So that map for that dirt loose, dusty, that's the detail map for it. And like I said in my other video, these are not very saturated pictures. They're more like high-pass filtered versions of different things. They're meant to be more like detail lines, not really a whole different picture, right? So maybe that can help you understand why that does the way it does. Now, say you do want to use sand, and you don't want sand here. Well, that one's fine pretty much. I mean, it's still gonna have the same background, but say I say I don't want that. I want actual sand, lugging sand. So let me see if I have one here that I already made. I think I do. That's not going to work. It's too dark. This one may work. Let me just get one real quick. It'll take a minute. Be the quickest thing. Just get one. Just make one real quick. I got a template already set up for baking anyway. Well, we'll use that one. Shit, it's already set up. It's not sand, but it'll still work. So we'll make now the base texture, since the game's using 4096 for the base, that's what you gotta bake. Or if you want to bake lower resolution and scale up the image, and that wouldn't look good though. I wouldn't do that. We'll bake diffuse, and we'll get our image over here. Yeah, it's a little slow. Maybe when the 5090s come out, they'll be faster. Baking would not be a job I'd want to do all day, every day. This is a lot of waiting. Especially the higher resolution you bake. Alright. So we'll save that as, and I don't have a save level, I don't believe, for this, so I'm going to hit save level. Alright, now levels, Johnson Valley. Alright, just make a folder. It don't matter what you call it, so that you put your image in there. And I would suggest getting into a naming scheme, so you know it's the base, or whatever helps you know what it is. You can use JPEGs, but be better off with PNGs. So in the game now, we'll just change this sand here. We'll change the base texture to sand, but I'll likely have to lower the intensity of the macro and the detail. Also, I got to change the scale. If I'm going to use that as a base texture, that's not meant to be seen far away, or it's going to tile really bad. So we'll just do like 16. It's not a seamless tile. Well, there's a reason for that. I believe the UVs were not unwrapped. Of course not. Of course not, man. I didn't unwrap them. Alright, we'll rebake it. We'll bake it with less samples. Won't take as long. Yeah, if them UVs are tiled, you'll definitely notice. You'll see where they're tiled. But you can see, basically, I can paint this wherever I want. And it'll override whatever was there. And it doesn't look like sand. Looks like the same map to me. I couldn't tell if it changed or not. Huh, it's just, guess that's as good as it's gonna get. I could bake normals too. Bake normal maps for it. Just change the color to linear. Tell it to bake normals. You can bake the roughness. You can't bake an ambient occlusion because it's flat. I mean, you could do something to make an ambient occlusion map for it, but it's a lot more work involved. See, that's a roughness map. I mean, our normal map. So I'll put like a little underscore in that tells me it's normals. Make sure it's saving linear. It doesn't need an alpha channel. Makes the file size even larger. And then as long as let's just do the normal map. I'll be here all day baking maps. I get in there, I start having fun. Be baking all day like a bakery. I don't really see them normals really good. I'd have to bake the roughness. Also, the macro and the detail have influence over how much the base normals show up. But yeah, I didn't bake the other maps for it. I didn't bake the roughness, ambient occlusion. Height map doesn't make a difference. Maybe if I move the light, you can kind of see. Nah, not really. Some textures do better than others, but I probably would. And that still is not seamless tile, is it? Oh well. So like you can see, it's not good to be far away like that. Just to kind of give you an idea, let me load this other map here. Now this is an ugly map, so don't laugh at it. Now it's not one that I would definitely not want to take home to show mom. You know what I mean? But there is a texture in here that can give you a little more idea about this. This base color map, how it affects. Alright. Great map, ain't it? I don't even know where the ground's at. Alright, so Now it's testing terrain paints. Let's try different ones, see which ones I like. But this is the paint here. So this is the, not this rocky stuff or any of that. It's just looking at the sand. This is a sand I made. I was making a sand and I wanted it to look like it had like a real beach. So that's the terrain paint. If you go to sand and look at the base map, you see it's an overhead basically of what you see here. And then the macro map, I don't even think I got a detail map in there. The macro map you see when you get closer, it's just not that great. That's why I didn't really do much more with this. Oh, the macro is at 60. Well, you ain't gonna see that. There you go. There we go. I just gotta make it lighter. So you see how it adds this new layer of detail. So when you're far away and you get up close, oh, you can tell it not to show the macro far away. This is without the macro at all. So that's just that by itself. And you add the macro map. Damn, I don't even know. That's just, it's like a dark color. I don't even know what I was doing. But you can't really distinguish much from it, other than it just tinting the color of the sand. Yeah, it needs a detailed map too. Yeah, see the way I did the paints here, I did them in a way that each one has their own base map. So if I want to paint that, it'll paint that wherever I want to paint it. Or if I want to paint, oops, or if I want to paint this, it'll paint that wherever I want to paint it. Or that wherever I want to paint it. Or that. Or that. See, each one's got their own base map. They're not all using the same thing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that if that's how you want to make your map. I just don't think that much in advance that I can think of an entire map at one time. My idea for this thing was to take a Google map. This is a model from Google, a little place in Italy, and then add a terrain block to it. Try to make the terrain block look like the original model. And you see how that's going. That's not going good. I got bored really quickly with this. I didn't do much with it. Just kind of boring. Yeah, like you see here, you got the model, and you got the terrain block, and that's the road that's actually there. That's on the model. So you try to start making a terrain that matches, and then you just get your paint brushes out and you start painting and whatever you're gonna make. And then you put some grass in it and then some bushes, and before long it starts to look like something. But I got bored with this. I did after just one day. So, yep, that's probably never get anything else done to it.